It's 2025, and there's a new game for the Atari 2600 that just got found. Let's check it out. What's going on, everyone? It's Rich Haywood here for Bacon Ice Cream Productions and Team RTFC, welcoming you to yet another episode of Good Times with Retro Rich. Yeah, that's right. And Fun for Five. What do you think about that? Yeah. And the Good Times Newsline Flashcast. Why not? Let's throw them all in there. Because today there has been some pretty awesome things that happened. Well, not today, but over the weekend. I know I'm late to the party. It's Wednesday already, and everyone else has made videos about this, and that's fine. But here we are. In case you haven't heard from anywhere else, someone somewhere over the weekend on Atari Age was going through some old disc cartridges, like the old tape cartridges. And I guess maybe they're a former Atari collector or a current Atari collector, maybe former employee, something like that. User on the Atari Age forums by the name of Dutchman 2000. So hats off to that and to of course, Atari Age forums. Says, I found this game on a VAMS backup tape from Atari's coin-op division, Fish for the 2600. Little is known as to who programmed it or how it ended up on a VAX, which is like one of those like backup cartridge things. Kind of looks like a cassette tape, like a whole 8-track or something like that, I think. He said, it's pretty good, I think. Enjoy. And then he just dumps the BIN file directly on the forum, which is pretty cool. So we can check it out. Someone then instantly was like, oh, hey, here's a link to the review, because I guess this was a partially known thing, maybe discovered like a day before the guy made his posts, on AtariProtos.com, Atari, I guess, prototypes.com. So I'm going to try to add links in the description after this. It'll be post vid, because I got to get this done and then a whole bunch of other stuff before I get back into the studio. This video might come out late, but it will be out on Wednesday. It will, I promise. So let's check it out. AtariProtos.com. The game was Fish. Hey, look at all these. It looks like my old website. Oh, that's pretty cool. I didn't know somebody else wanted to do that. That's pretty neat. The whole the 2600 with the each cartridge is a link to different things. Yeah, if you search out Perfect Score, which is our old name before we became Bacon Ice Cream Productions, hence Perfect Score Returns, the show. Yeah, we had a website. It looked just like this, and then inside the there was everything was navigated into like an old CRT television. I don't know. Anyway, I like the website. Props to whoever runs it. So Fish by Atari. No, year is 1983. Discovered in 2025. Unbelievable. Mike Albaugh possibly was the programmer. Talk about your wild discoveries. Fish, or at least that's what the file was called, is an entirely unknown game that was discovered by programmers. A programmer's personal folder on a backup tape from one of the old Atari mainframes. That alone makes this for an interesting story. But the more cryptic part is that this was the Atari's coin-op division mainframe, not the consumer engineering division's mainframe, which was used to create Atari 2600 games by the Atari 2600 programmers. Why is this game on a coin-op mainframe is anyone's guess, but it may be that coin-op programmer Mike Albaugh was playing around with some 2600 programming in his spare time. He wouldn't be the first coin-op programmer to do this. Another explanation is that the real programmer sent the game to Mike for his feedback. So that's kind of cool. Mysterious origins aside, what exactly is Fish? Fish is a cute little action game where you control the titular fish in an effort to eat everything in sight. You can move the fish up and down around the screen, also swim forward or backwards, which makes the fish move in a little chugging motion like he's actually swimming. At first, you only see worms moving back and forth across the screen. The worms are completely defenseless and will be eaten without worry. However, after a level or two, the game will begin to introduce new elements, including eggs, power balls, large worms, and even squids, which is kind of cool. And then it actually explains like what you can do in the game. Worms are your basic enemy and can't actually hurt the player. However, if left alone, they'll turn into eggs. Worms can be gobbled up for 50 points each. Giant worms is what happens if you shoot the power ball on a regular worm. Don't try that at home, kids. They're still harmless, but now with 100 points. Eggs moves across the stream like words, but will turn into enemy fish if you don't eat them fast enough. They're worth 100 points. Eating a Powerball will allow the player to shoot a magic bullet. Powerballs are worth 350 points. Squids can be summoned by shooting a magic bullet at an egg or enemy fish. Eating a squid will turn the player into a big fish and award them with 450 points. That's kind of cool. So kind of like Shark, you get a little bigger. Enemy fish will appear if an egg is left alone for too long or as regular enemies on higher levels. Enemy fish can actually eat the player if they lunge at you. The secret to defeating them is to carefully eat them first and not be in front of their mouths. Eating an enemy fish is worth 500 points. As the name implies, the giant fish, this is a giant fish, is an even bigger version of the enemy fish. The giant fish are larger, quicker, and more dangerous than the smaller cousins. They can be eaten the same way. Eating a giant fish is worth 1,000 points. And then you get like some cool things here. To actually eat an enemy, you must push the fire button. As simply as touching an enemy will make them go right through it. Pushing the fire button will make your fish lunge forward and gobble up wherever is in his path. Enemy and giant fish attack you the same way. Eating all the enemies, moving on to the next wave. There's 99 waves in total. And you can select a starting wave in increments of 5 to 95 on this title screen, which is kind of cool. It's a nice touch for people who want to see how difficult the game gets in the later levels. The higher levels include such enemies moving in wave pattern around the screen, just back and forth in their rows, and the super dangerous giant fish. So it's cool. It's neat. And then it says, stuff about eating up the power pedals. I'll let you guys go in here and read that. And a little bit of review. It's a fun little game, complete with sound, which changes every level, music, and a demo mode. Game even features a pause mode. Oh, that's cool. Using the color and black and white switch, which is just starting to become the norm in 2600 games at the time. It's unknown if Fish was ever supposed to be a real game or the programmer was just having fun in their spare time. But given how much work went into it, it's probably the former. So this was a game that just kind of got lost to time, which is kind of cool. But yeah, I kind of messed around with it as I was testing things. When we're going to get to that in a second. But yeah, it is actually kind of impressive that how complete it feels. Assuming it was meant to be a real game, it was probably would have had to been beefed up with a little bit more variety and content. The game was only 4K, which was absolutely tiny at the time, late 1983, when most games were 8K or 16 in size. There you go. And it's from all the way in 1983, and the version was, complete with a question mark. But that's it. That's the whole thing on AtariProtos.com. Again, I'm going to try to leave those links down there, which is pretty awesome. Very cool stuff. Very cool stuff. But I did say this was not only a Good Times with Retro Rich and a Good Times Newsline Flashcast, but also a Fun for Five. So what do we do when it's all those things? We hit this button and we go into the box. Let's play. So I'm playing on a Hyperkin Retron 77. So I don't know if anyone else in any of the other videos, to be honest, sorry guys, I didn't get to watch you guys yet. Probably will now after I make this video, but I got it to work on a Retron 77. Does it work on a Retron 77 if you copy directly the file name as given on the website and plop it onto your memory card? No, it does not. So for people that say, hey, this doesn't work on a Retron 77, here's a pro tip. Append all of the information that comes after the word fish off of your file name. So it doesn't, the parens and like all that stuff, for whatever reason, I guess the Retron 77 doesn't like those characters, recognize those characters is an error because maybe it's a command or something like that. I don't know. But if you take all that stuff away and you just call it fish, it will work. So what do I mean by that? So if you go over here and you see this, it's fish -1 because it's, it's -1 because there's more information on the file name, which is basically just the date. This one, if that's if you just pop the file on the thing, it won't work. It's not going to work. This here, ironically enough, is my copy of Circus Convoy because I have the collector's edition of Circus Convoy. So it has a weird name too, but it does work if I hit the button. And then if you just name it fish like this, and then you press the fire button, bang, you get that. Now, of course, on the Retron, you got that weird thing where if you want the 4x3, You got to hit the 4x3 button. So there is that. And I'm kind of in the way, but I think it only like is tracking my life totals. So as you can see, the game looks pretty cool. It's fairly primitive, but let's hit a button and start to play. Now I'm playing on a Proline controller. I can show you right here. Let me just go and do one of these. I'm playing my Proline controller, 7800 Proline. I went through 4 of these to find one that sort of works. So it doesn't actually work properly. Yes, I could use the brand new 7800 controller right behind me. I could use the 2600 controllers that go over there. I don't know, something about the Proline, I really like it. But I'm going to work through this. But bear with me. All right, back in the box. Let's hit the button and play some fish. Let's see what we got. So this is almost a mix. If I can kind of allow myself the comparison. Come here. This is almost what you get if you mix Sequest and Shark, because you have to do everything in waves, like Sequest. You've got like kind of like this like side to side motion thing. You've got like little weapons and things going on the screen, which is kind of neat. It's kind of fun. And what the? Oh no, I'm a big fish. Oh no, I got eaten by a fish. So yeah, in the bottom right hand corner, it definitely oh no, I got eaten by the fish again. No, don't get out of here. Oh no. Yeah, I got it. Oh. Ha. Take that. Oh no. I died. 8750. And then it goes in a little demo mode. So, like I said, this game is really kind of cool and interesting. And yeah, I do see at least I see it. I see the kind of Sequesty thing because you can see like, the enemies that are going back and forth, they're all in rows, like just like the enemies that happen in Sequest. But instead of shooting them, you have to like rush and eat them kind of thing. And you have the thing where you can eat a thing and get bigger and you can get to be a bigger fish and do all that kind of thing. So that's kind of neat. It's got interesting sounds. I agree with the guys over at AtariProtos.com that they said that like it would be better if there was like more things that you could do, like another objective, like a sub objective, like in for example in a Sequest, in order to do all these things you have to like worry about your air because you're a submarine or something like that. So maybe in this one you have to gain the pellets, in order to turn some fish into the bigger, or the worms into the bigger worms. In order to pass the next level, you have to capture at least one big worm or something like that. Makes it a little more challenging maybe. But for all intents and purposes, this is a fun game. Like if this was if this game was released on Atari 2600, well, I mean, let's go into the wrap up and then talk about it this way. So if this game, like, all right, let's fun for five it, right? Let's do that. Is it certified good times? Is this a yeah, the fun was found? Is this a yeah, but, or is this a not great? We are really in yes, the fun was found territory right here on this one, and we're like inching very close to certified good times. It's got that it factor, and I didn't mention Sequest for nothing, or Shark. Shark is probably top 10 in television games of all time in my book, and Sequest is in my top 5 of Atari 2600 games. It might even be in my top 3, or might be my favorite Atari 2600 game of all time. Like, it's just so super awesome. I love that game. So for this game to evoke both of those games for me is pretty awesome. And to have it just, I have one. I have this game. I can play it anytime I want on my Retron. That's pretty cool. That's pretty neat. Now, would I want like Atari? I don't want them to just like destroy this, right? I don't want like the big Fuji. I don't want them to come in and just like shut. I mean, it went on Atari Age. They own Atari Age, right? So it's not that they pulled down the post or anything. So I don't want them to do that. But just because like, hey, not a lot of people have emulation. Not a lot of people do the Stella thing. Not a lot of people have a Retron 77. They can just put on the card. Let alone know that you put the ROM on the card, but if you just copy it, it's not going to work until you rename it. That kind of thing. Obviously, there's a lot of barriers to entry to play this game right now. So, wait, would it be cool if they're like, "Hey, we found this game," and wouldn't it be really neat if they just gave it to a programmer, or whatever, put like another couple of cool polishes on it, maybe like made it one of those 2600 cards that have the cool sound chip and made like sounds better or whatever. How cool would it be to have that as a thing you just buy in the year 2020, 2025 and just be like, hey, by the end of the year, we're going to have this product and you can buy it on Atari.com and then just have one and you just put it in your Atari 2600 Plus. That would be kind of cool. It'd be neat because, like this lost software thing, like, like, hey, I just found this in a drawer and here's this game and it's cool and you can play it. What an awesome story to kick off the year and the Atari thing. Like I'm jazzed about it. So, but what do you guys think? Let me know down below. Let me hear what you guys have to say. You can comment about my lack of play on my Proline controller. I mean, 8750 is not too bad of a score. I probably could have done way better. My hands really hurt too. Because not only did I just do like a little workout right before the show here, but just gripping the Proline controller and doing all those motions, trying to fight the inner part of the stick. I think if I take it apart and clean it, it might be better. But yeah, I mean, I had to really fight hard because right and left don't work that well. They work better than the other ones, which don't work. Like all of the 3 Prolines behind me, the other ones, up doesn't work, or down, or left, or right. One of the they'll have one of the directions don't work, which is sad. So I mean, but that's what you get when you buy 5 of them. Where you buy 4 of them for what was it, $10 or something like that over at 2 Mini Games, and the guy's like, "Yeah, they work. That's all good." I'm like, "Oh, sweet." And like, you tested them all, and he's like, "Yeah, sure." Yeah, he didn't test them all. That's fine. It's what happens. But anyway, again, what do you guys think? Let me know down below. What do you think about Fish? What do you think about like all this cool stuff happening? Is it good? Is it not good? All that kind of stuff. And then we'll have a conversation about it. But like I said, I think it's just super cool. I really enjoy the fact that this is a thing. And I hope you guys too. I hope you guys do too, I should say. So we're at the end of a video here at Bacon Ice Cream Productions. You've got to do one thing and one thing only, and that is, of course, thank the members of the Good Times Club. So let's do that right now. Let's thank the EverCanadian, Crimson Cross, George Games, Chris Westerman, Fan and Fiction, Loiter Jim, Papa Pete, The Intellivision Gamer, Ken LaCure, Mr. Shua, John Woolley, Gunsy20, Herb Wars, Immortal Sojourn, DF, Joe Whitlash, and David Valdez. Thank you guys all so much for being members, for being awesome, for getting us 1080p StreamYard glory here on StreamYard. Not only here, but on the Evercade Effect, the Evercast, and Calling All Retro Gamers. All those places benefit because you guys are awesome and give us cool things that we can do and keep this ship rolling, which is awesome. So thank you so much for your support. You want to be a member? Hit the join button. You can just hit the button and then boom, you're a member. You can get cool things, exclusive videos, more of which will be coming pretty shortly. And of course, we've got the monthly meeting, which is a mandatory thing. So at least the monthly meeting happens every month. Sometimes you get a whole bunch of videos. Sometimes you get a couple. Sometimes you just get the meeting at the end, but you always get the meeting. We talk about all the cool things that we do here on the channel. You guys get direct input and all that kind of stuff. It's pretty awesome. So if you want to hit that, join in and be a member of the Good Times Club, come on in. It'd be cool. But if not, it's okay. Leave a like, leave a dislike. Definitely hit the subscribe button, bell for notifications and all that kind of fun stuff. And leave comments because we love it. We love it right here. So until next time, we will catch you next time for some good times. I'm Rich, and we will see you later. And hey, man, get down in those links as soon as I get them up there. Hit the Atari Age thing, get this bin file, and play some Fish because it's cool. And it's a new game for the Atari that someone just found in a drawer. What else could possibly be awesome and on the way for 2025? I can't wait. But we'll see you probably tomorrow for maybe a newsline. We'll see. Fingers crossed. All right. See you guys.
RTSC.baconicecream.com